So yes, good morning students. So now we will continue our chapter Combustion and Flames. It is the last part and today is our lesson 6. So now let's recall what we learned in our previous classes. We learned about combustion and we also learned about the structure of flames, and these all things we discussed in our earlier class. So yes, so now we will be starting with our today's topic. But before going into the topic, let's see some pictures. Okay, so now in front of you, there are different pictures. You have to identify what these pictures are showing, and then you have to write or comment down below what you can observe in these pictures, like what these pictures are showing. Okay, so yes, the first picture, you can see there are some wood pieces. Okay, this is a type of fuel if we burn it. Then in second picture, we can see some LPG gas cylinders. In the third picture, we can see coal. In the fourth picture, we can see the petrol. It is also a kind of a fuel that we use. And the middle picture shows a bottle of a kerosene. So what these pictures represent? Okay, yes, very good. So these pictures, they represent the different kinds of fuel around us that we can see, the different types of fuels, right? So now let's see and let's move ahead. Okay, so now there are two types of fuel in front of you. First is the wood and the second is the LPG. So which one will you prefer to use, the wood one or the LPG one? And you also have to give reason why. Okay, if you will use the wood one, why? And if you will use the LPG one, why? Okay, so most of you are answering that they will use LPG instead of woods. Okay, but why? Why LPG and why not wood? Um, because LPG is easy to use. Okay, it is easy to use, yes. Because there is no smoke. Okay, yes. Yes, because there is no smoke. And there are several more points to use LPG rather than to use wood. Because wood we don't get so easily in the city areas. And but LPG is present, is available very easily also. And it is also very easy to store them. To store the LPG rather to store these many woods. Right. So yes, you all are right. So now we will move on ahead and see. So what are we going to study now is the qualities of a good fuel. So what are the qualities? Like we just discussed in the above picture, like why we were using LPGs instead of using wood, because it had certain qualities that made us use. So now we will see some of the qualities of a good fuel, like why we are using that fuel and why we are preferring that fuel, right? So now moving on to the qualities of a good fuel. So yes, what are the different qualities of a good fuel? Yes, it is readily available, easily available. If it will be easily available, more and more people can use, as wood is not so easily available in the city areas. But LPG is available, so the LPG is more effective or more good fuel to use, and it should be cheap. It should be in the budget because most of the people that are living in our country are of middle class, so and they have a budget in which they are running. They're all like whole family chores, right? So the fuel, it should be cheap so that they can use. It should be budget friendly, right? What is the third point? Burns easily in air, because if it will burn easily in air, then only it will be more efficient to use, right? And the large amount of heat, it should produce large amount of heat, only then it will be able to used as a cooking fuel. So this is the quality of a good fuel, and it should not leave any undesirable substances. Here undesirable substances means it should, like if we are burning something, it should not, if we are burning a fuel, it should not emit some poisonous gases. And in, like in case of woods, when we burn it, it is causing so much smoke. So it should not cause that smoke, because our houses are small, so where will all the smoke go? Inside our houses, so it will be very undesirable situation. So that's why they should not leave any undesirable substances. This is also a very important point. And there should be no pollution. So we have to keep in mind the fuel that we are using should be a clean fuel causing less and less pollution, right? So these are some of the qualities of the good fuel. So now are you clear with the concept of what are the different qualities of a good fuel that we use? Okay, so if you have any doubt, you can write in the chat box. I will give you 5 seconds and then we will move ahead, right? Okay, so yes, I think you all are clear with the concepts of fuels, right? Okay. So now in front of you, now comes the curiosity question, right? So in front of you, there are different types of fuel and their pictures. So which one would you prefer to use now? As you know the qualities now, so based on those qualities, which fuel you will use? And you can also tell why you are using that fuel. Okay, yes, some of you are saying you will use LPG. Okay, some of you are saying they will use the petrol. So LPG is the most efficient gas, most efficient gas we can use as a fuel. Then comes the petrol and kerosene for different purposes, of course, right? So yes, before moving on ahead. Okay, so now we will move on ahead and see one question. So what that question is, so in this question, you have three columns. First column is solid fuels, second column is liquid fuels, and third column is gaseous fuels. So now you have to fill what are the solid fuels that you can see around yourself. Uh, Solid fuels we can see like coal is there, yes. Then there is wood. So these two comes under the solid fuels, right? Okay, so what will come under the liquid fuels now? As we have also seen the pictures, also we have seen. Yes, there will be petrol, there will be diesel. Okay, you all are answering it correctly. Yes, very good. What else? What else will be there? Okay, there will be kerosene, and then many more fluids can be there, I guess. Like alcohol is also there. It can also be used as a fuel. Okay. So yes, so these were some of the liquid fuels that we can use. What about the gaseous fuels? Okay, gaseous fuels is, yes, you all are right. It can be the LPGs. Okay, what else? Yes, it can be CNGs. Okay, yes, very good. So yes, so now I think you all are clear with the concepts of fuels and different types of fuels, right? And what are the qualities of a good fuel? Okay, so yes. So now I think we should move on ahead and let's see some more interesting facts about fuel. Okay, so now these three types of fuels are given in front of you. First picture shows the coal, second picture shows the LPG, and third picture shows the cow dung, right? We produce fuel from the cow dung pulse. You must have heard about the biogases, right? Okay. So now, if you are given a liter of water, okay. So now there is a situational question for you. If you are given 1 liter of water and you have to boil it, so which fuel you will use among these and why? Okay. Some of you are saying they will use coal. Okay, yes, if it is your choice. And some of you are saying that you will use LPG. What about cow dung? Will you not use this biogas because it is harming less to the nature? Okay, so some of you may use this cow dung also. So yes, as these fuels, you all said we will use different fuels, and you also gave the reason like some will produce more heat, some will produce less heat. Okay. So as these different fuels are producing different intensities of heat, right? Different intensities of energy. So how can we measure like which fuel is producing how much energy that we can use? There is a certain scientific term for it. Okay. Any guesses from your side what that scientific term is called? If no, it's fine. We will see it later. Okay, so now it's time to see what that scientific term is known as. So yes, that scientific term is known as, you will repeat after me, calorific value. Yes, the scientific term is calorific value. So now we will see the definition. What is the definition of calorific value? The amount of heat energy produced on the complete combustion of 1 kg of a fuel is called as the calorific value. So what is the definition of for calorific value? The amount of heat energy produced on complete combustion of 1 kg of a fuel is called its calorific value. And the calorific value of a fuel is expressed in a unit called as kilojoule per kg. So what is the unit? It is kilojoule per kg. So yes, these were the two important points that you have to learn about calorific value and how we are measuring the efficiency of fuel with the help of this calorific value. So now we will see a chart of different fuels and how much is their calorific value, and based on that you will answer like which which fuel is the most efficient to use, right? So cow dung, here we can see 6,000 to 8,000 kilojoule per kg. Wood we can see coal, and then lastly hydrogen. So yes, according to you, which gas is having the highest calorific value and which is more likely we can use more? Okay, yes, which gas? CNG is also having a very high amount. Okay, yes, what else? Hydrogen is having the highest, but we cannot use hydrogen as it is very unstable. It is usually used in the industries or it is used in the labs. But for home purpose, we can use the LPGs because it is having a stable calorific value to use. That's why we are using LPGs, right? And cow dung, we are not using it widely because it is having a very low calorific value. Means if we burn it a lot of gas, then only we will reach a certain amount. Then only it will give a certain amount of efficiency. That's why we are not using the cow dung in greater amount. So this is the reason. So now are you all clear with the concept of what calorific value is? Okay, so now we will move on ahead. And now comes the question of I will not answer this question. You have to find it on your own. Okay, so first we will read it. So this is a numerical based on the calorific value we just discussed, right? In an experiment, 6 kg of a fuel was completely burned, right? Completely burned. The heat produced was measured to be how much kilojoule? 2 lakh 40,000 kilojoules, right? So now what you have to do is you have to calculate the calorific value of the fuel. So for this, you have to answer it on your own. You can either comment down below the answers and you will find the answer after the class is finished, right? So now we will move on ahead and see some more questions. So first you have to define calorific value. Okay. What you will do is you have to write the definition in the chat box and you also have to mention the unit. So what will be the unit of the calorific value? Yes, kilojoule per kg, right? Okay. And yes, you all gave the definition also very correctly. So now we will move on ahead and see some more details about the combustion process and the fuels, right? Okay. Okay. So now, yes, what difference can you see in both of these pictures? Like, what is actually happening in these pictures? Okay, like in the first picture, we can see the grasses are burning and it is producing a flame. Okay, what about the second picture? Yes, the coal is burning, but there are no flames, but there is just the smoke, right? So, according to you, which is causing more pollution here? The above picture or the below one, the coal one? Okay, so the coal is producing more smoke, so I think the coal, yes. If you all answered it correctly, the coal is producing much pollution, right? So now we will move on ahead and see what we are about to study right now. Okay, so the burning of fuel leads to harmful products. Now we will see some of the harmful products that we get after we are burning the fuel. So what are these harmful products that we get? Any guesses from your side? Okay, yes, very good. We get smoke. What else? Anything more? Okay, so yes, so now we will move on ahead and we will see, right? So now let's see what happens and what we are actually getting, the harmful product. So carbon fuels, when we are burning the carbon fuels, what we are getting is unburned carbon particles. This unburned carbon particles are very harmful for the human body, and what it is causing is asthma. Asthma is a respiratory problem where we have difficulty in breathing. So this is caused by the fuels, the excessive burning of the carbon fuels, or if it is not burned properly. So one of the harmful byproduct that we are getting from this carbon fuel is the unburned carbon particles, which is causing which disease is it causing? Yes, very good. It is causing asthma. Right, you all are right. So now we will move on ahead and see some more details. So now incomplete combustion, right? Incomplete combustion causes which gas to form? Carbon monoxide. Yes, incomplete combustion causes the carbon monoxide. And what happens when, how this carbon monoxide is affecting our body? Like you must have heard some news during winters. There comes a news in the newspaper, like a family was burning coal inside their house, and all the windows were closed as it was too cold. And the next morning they were found dead, right? You must have heard these news during the winter's time. So why do you think we hear such news? Because what happens is there is the incomplete combustion and the formation of carbon monoxide. And the formation of carbon monoxide leads to what? It leads to the poisoning. It poisons the blood. Carbon mixes with the blood and takes away the oxygen. Thus, it suffocates our body, and we will breathe less and less, and there will be less oxygen present in our body, which will lead to what? It will lead to breathlessness, right? And then we will slowly lost our consciousness, and some in severe cases we can die. So this is the second harmful byproduct of the combustion process. So now are you clear what are the harmful byproducts we are getting to the process of combustion? Okay. So now let's see what is the third harmful product we are getting. Harmful. Okay, so now we will see what is the third harmful byproduct that we are getting with the combustion process. That is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a good gas, but if it is produced in excess, it will cause the global warming. And global warming, how is it affecting the environment? Like it is increasing the heat in the environment, causing the glaciers to melt, the earth temperature to rise. So this is one of the ill effects of using the excessive fuel, right? Okay, so this was okay. So now coming to the fourth point, like fourth byproduct, like if we are burning diesel and coal, we get sulfur dioxide gas, which is a very harmful gas. It is causing the acid rain, right? Petrol and engines, they are causing nitrogen oxide. Both of these gases causes the acid rain, and these acid rain corrodes the old like the corrodes the buildings, old buildings and monuments, thus causing pollution, right? So these were all the ill harmful effects of different fuels, and we will now move forward. Okay, so now let's move forward. So what is the full form of CNG? It is compressed natural gas. Yes, very good. Okay. So now, oh, so now, yes. So now there is a question for all of you, curiosity question. Why are we advised never to sleep in a room with burning or smoldering coal fire in it? We just discussed it right now. We just discussed. So the answer for is it. Like, okay, I will give you 5 seconds. You can write your answers in the chat box. Then we will discuss. Okay. Yes, I'm getting the right responses. Okay, so we are advised not to sleep in a room with burning or smoldering coal fire, because what happens is carbon monoxide gas is produced, and this carbon monoxide, it combines with our blood and takes away the oxygen. Thus, it suffocates our body, and thus causing to lose our consciousness. So as oxygen is not supplied properly to the body. So this is the reason why we are advised not to sleep in a room with burning or smoldering coal fire. So this was all about the different ill effects. Now coming to the question, oxides of sulfur and nitrogen dissolve in rainwater and form acid, which leads to what? Global warming, greenhouse effect, acid rain, or combustion. So now I will give you 5 seconds. You have to answer the question correctly and quickly. Okay. Yes, I'm getting the right responses. Yes, very good. Okay. So the right answer here is acid rain. Okay. So yes, so now coming to the recapitulation part. Today we studied about the qualities of a good fuel, the different qualities. We studied about the fuel efficiency. We can calculate with the help of calorific value, and the unit for calorific value was kilojoule per kg, right? And the burning of fuel leads to the harmful products. And this was all we discussed today. Now coming to your homework part, what you have to do is you have to solve these questions. You have to give reason. And the last question is a numerical one. You have to calculate the calorific value. And coming to the activity, what you have to do is survey the availability of various fuels in your locality and find out their cost per kg and prepare a tabular chart showing how many kilojoules of various fuels you can get for every rupees, right? So yes, it might be interesting for you because this must be the first time that you will visit such places for such information, right? So now, thank you class, and we will meet in our next class with some new topic and a new chapter. This chapter is finished here. Thank you. So now I will be ending my class.